Brett Okamoto at UFC 303. The prelims are going on right in that arena, and I'm here with a man who this event was built around with Conor McGregor. And some people are like, I wonder what it would be like to attend my own funeral. Like, I gotta believe that you're walking around and people are like, Mike, dude, sorry, man. Is that what this has been like for you? What's this experience been like?
It actually has, because I've gotten that question, like, hey, number one, do you have any regrets? Number two, how does it feel? And honestly, I haven't really thought about it as much myself, but it's International Fight Week. I have met no less than 1,500 people, shaking hands and taking pictures and doing the whole thing, and every single one of them talked about them coming here to watch me fight Conor. So it keeps getting reminded, or I keep getting reminded of it, rather. But honestly, man, I've been doing organized sports, hand-to-hand combat since I was 14 years old. I have never once pulled out of a fight, a wrestling match, never missed weight, so I've been a man of my word, but I have had opponents pull out. Conor's not the first one who has done it, and it's a unfortunate, normal thing that we have to go through as fighters. This one just seems a lot different because it's such a big fight, and people have been waiting for it, yourself, myself included, for so long, that it seems that much bigger, but it doesn't mean it's more impactful. We're gonna figure it out.
Where were you, and how did you find out officially that the fight wasn't going to happen?
I was in Florida. Obviously, I was in training camp, so I was in Florida. I think it was a Thursday, so I just trained Monday through Thursday that week, and then caught a flight on Friday to go home, obviously. But yeah, Hunter called me and broke the news. Obviously, so it all started with the canceled press conference, right? So that was the first call that I got. I didn't fly over to Ireland. I stayed stateside, thank God. And that was when the rumors started swirling. Was it an injury? What was it? What was going on? Had a couple calls with Hunter, Dana, and we were continuing to move forward, business as usual. And maybe I have too much respect for Conor. Maybe I had high hopes for Conor, but he had never pulled out of a fight before. He has gone into fights injured before. But I think stepping in the octagon against me with a broken pinky toe or whatever injury it may be is a little bit different than fighting other guys. So I take it as a compliment. But got that call from Hunter, and it was a gut punch, but here we are.
There is zero part of you that looks at what happened and says, there is something that I can take here in Conor's commitment to the game or commitment to wanting to fight again. Do you take anything from how it went?
I will say I would not fault anybody for thinking that. But you look at where Conor is right now, a 3-year layoff with a broken leg, coming back, signing on the dotted line to fight me. There's a little bit where I thought he was kind of trying to wait me out, making me holding out long enough to where I just moved on and fought somebody else so he could fight, in my opinion, an easier opponent than me. But I don't think it's a lack of commitment to the game as much as it is a unfortunate set of circumstances and him realizing who he is now. Needing to be 100% if you're going to compete against me. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's from my own perspective. Maybe that sounds braggadocious and narcissistic to people, but it's part of the game. But obviously, there was the videos of him doing some stuff and all that. So we can point to those things, but we can also point to he lives a different life than you live and I live, and that's how he operates. And we'll see how this all transpires.
The UFC has been very upfront with you, and you have said that has helped your confidence and staying the course and waiting for this fight. They've said he's going to fight. When he does fight, he's going to fight you. What are they saying now after his pullout?
Same thing. Obviously, we've had numerous conversations. I was with Hunter yesterday. So we'll know, I think, more very quickly. I think we'll know more information very quickly. They are constantly working 24/7 around the clock, trying to figure out, not just this fight, but a lot of other big fights in the UFC, but definitely this one because it's high on the priority list. At this point, I think we'll know more in a week or two. We got some options. They're working through some things, and they will let me know. But as you said, I had enough assurances throughout this entire process behind the scenes to know that we were going to stay on this train till we got to UFC 303, and now obviously beyond.
Throughout this entire process, have you been rock steady that he was always going to fight you? I mean, that's what you said publicly. Have you really truly believed that, and do you still believe it?
I think over the course of maybe late 2023, when every single week he was tweeting about someone else and wanting to do this and wanting to do that, but I can tell you this, no matter what the public perception of the UFC's relationship with Conor McGregor and how much power Conor has or how much power the UFC does or does not have in that microcosm that is their relationship with Conor and the UFC, they still said when he comes back he has to fight you. Mm-hmm. So when that when I hear that, I'm going to take them at their word. And because you got to remember, every single guy ranked 2 above me, 2 below me, all of those guys were getting booked. All of those guys were fighting each other. Mm-hmm. I could have gotten that call. I could have called them at any given time and said, hey, I'm jumping into a 6-week training camp and I'll fight this guy whenever. I've been steadfast that I want to fight Conor, and I believe that is going to happen. And I still believe even more now, because now you have a contract signed, and then 15 days before that fight gets postponed. So now him and I are even more linked than we were before this fight got announced back in, what was it, UFC 300. So the fight's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen in short order.
Regardless of what happens, whether you end up fighting him, whether you move on to something else, do you think that you will look back on this time in your career and be like, dang, I lost it? And that, like, do you think that'll eat at you? How do you think you'll view the last 2 years?
I think it has the potential to do that. I mean, we're human beings. We are prone to wander. We are prone to have those, think about what we could or could not have done differently, and do we have regret from it? I can tell you, I do not regret a thing about this process. I do believe the way that I have responded to how I have lived this out and how I have responded through every single aspect of this should be a blueprint for a lot of people to look to in how to handle uncertainty in your life. So if I got to be that guy who's got to climb this hill, maybe die on that hill, we'll find out, then so be it. But I will say I've enjoyed the time off. I just had the best training camp of my life. We just got asked about, hey, ring rust and a couple years outside. I feel better now at the end of this training camp. When I got that phone call on Thursday, I had just gotten done with my last sparring session Thursday morning of a 10-week training, well, it was a 12-week training camp, but I did 10 weeks of it, and it was the best sparring session I had ever had. So 38 years old, I think I can do this till I'm 45, so we'll see. I think we're good.
The money aspect of it, what impact does that have on you? How much do you think about the money? I mean, I know myself, I'd be spending that money in my head. It's a big event, big pay-per-view. You're going to be paid handsomely for it, and now it's on ice again. So what does the money mean to you at this part of it?
We are prize fighters. That's what we do. This is what I do for a living. It's my number one job, my highest paying job. But I think it says a lot that I've been the guy who has been outside of the octagon for the better part of 18 to 20 months and haven't collected a UFC paycheck. Still got my house, still made investments, still have invested in numerous other companies. We got a bunch of stuff going on. It's nice that my wife works. She loves to work. I would never take that away from her. So obviously we are a dual income family, and I've stayed busy, but it's going to be a big fight. I will get paid well, and a lot more now when it does happen because of all this stuff happening. And maybe it was just supposed to work out this way for me to have more money and make more money. I don't know. But I'm enjoying the ride, man, and I regret none of it. And yeah, I will collect that paycheck with a smile on my face.
Last thing for you is that you kind of hinted out there BMF. You were kind of having a little bit of fun on social
Bravo,
media.
Mike Foxtrot.
Was that was just a little bit of fun? A little bit of fun to take your mind off of like the sad stuff.
Well, at that point, I mean, rumors were swirling immediately when Conor gets pulled. It's like, hey, who do we want to see this guy fight? And then Max's name was thrown out there, Volkanovski and Oliveira, and so. At that point, what can you do besides just have fun with it, man? You want me to crawl into a hole? When you get kicked in the teeth and you get knocked down, you're going to get back up and maybe have a little fun with it. So that's what I was doing.
You got a message for him? Like if we send this to him, if ESPN MMA clips this and puts this on Instagram, do you have a message for Conor McGregor?
I'm not really good at the whole message thing to guys. I mean, man,
what are you talking about? Conor McGregor. I'll see you at the top.
You're right. Man, I'm excited to compete against him. And that's been the same way since I was 14 years old. I want tough competition on massive stages. And this fight, we were so close we could taste it. If anything, he's going to be even better and more prepared for the next one. I sure am going to be better and more prepared for the next one. He did light a fire under me. I was going to knock him out in the second round and make it last a little longer. I'm going to knock him out in the first round now.
All right, man. Well, you're taking it in stride as I'm not surprised that you're taking it in stride, but my condolences. We wanted to see the fight. I know you wanted
Thank you for
the
coming
fight.
to my funeral.
I know the sports world wanted to see this fight.